How much of your life, what you went through during that moment, how difficult was it to write that book? Because now you're reliving, you're
Yes.
probably refocused on something that was blocked,
Yes.
new things that now have surfaced. How difficult was it to really put that book together?
Yeah, you hit the nail on the head. It was a journey to put that book together. Because one thing I was determined to do was be authentic,
Okay.
tell the real story, tell how I really felt. Sometimes being a faith-based person, people over spiritualize their experience and they don't tell the truth about how they really felt. So
Mm.
I talked about the lows and the highs.
Yeah.
And it was reliving it. It was painful at points. At some points, sometimes I had to stop and let my husband hold me, literally, and come back to it the next day. Because as I wrote the book, I was really being honest with my own internal struggles and feelings that I was dealing with. At the end, though, it was completely therapeutic. It was very therapeutic for me. And at the very end, when it was time to release it, I found it difficult to do so because it felt like my baby.
Mm.
And I'm like, what is the world going to do with my baby? How are they gonna accept my baby? It was pretty deep. It was pretty deep experience. That literal pushing the button like it's in your hands now was difficult. But when I did, I knew that book would change many, many lives.
You mentioned something. You had to put the book down several times. Give me two times that you put it down and you almost said, I can't continue it.
Okay, I have a chapter called Loss of Control where I'm talking about the whole aspect of when everything you can't control, well, not you can't control, that's not true. When you lose control of things that you're used to being in control of, what you wear, what you eat, what you could do. I'm laying in a hospital bed and everybody is making decisions for me
Mm.
because I have no control. That was tough to look at the reality of that. My life literally was hanging in others' hands. That was rough, really, really rough. But I showed also how I overcame that because I start focusing on the things I can control. So I was a little ornery, Andrea. Yeah, I'm gonna be honest, but I could control. When they brought me grape juice, I could say I don't want grape juice. I
Right.
want orange.
You could have changed the
That
narrative.
I
'Cause
could change the directive just in that.
yeah,
So
yeah.
I did just to feel some control in my life. But that's one. Now, obviously, when I got to the moment where my husband, his cousin, and my pastor came in to tell me that we lost Amos. I'll never forget that moment ever. I'm intubated. I can't talk to them. I'm in excruciating pain. I could tell they're about to tell me something I don't want to hear by their faces. And then they tell me we lost one. That was a rough part to write, but it was part of the story. And I honestly, I felt like a slave tied to the whipping pole because everything they kept telling me was like a lash to my heart, just a one lash, one lash. And they were telling me the state of all my children at that time as well.